to you.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Liberty Hour here on the Spreaker website, streaming also through my YouTube A2Jack and my Twitter 16JacksonAJ1. Unfortunately, I can't get this app to work with Facebook, but then again, who the hell uses Facebook besides me nowadays? So, welcome back. I'm here with my friend Ricky Navarrete. We're talking about where we saw ourselves in 5 years ago, and we were going to transition out of that and answer another question for you guys. But before I go ahead and do that, let me go ahead and give you guys some NBA scores right now from the night of March 8th, this wonderful Friday night. Right now, the final score of the Magic game versus the Mavericks was 111-106. The Hornets beat the Wizards barely 112-111. The Raptors beat the Pelicans 127-104. Grizzlies over the Jazz 114-104. Rockets beat out the Sixers 107-91. That'll move them up another spot in the Western Conference. The Pistons beat the Bulls 112-104 to keep themselves at the 6th spot. The Heat keep themselves at the 8th spot with a win over the Cavaliers 126-110. Right now, with 4 minutes left in the half, it is Warriors 47-43 over the Nuggets. If the Nuggets win tonight, the Warriors will drop down to 2. The Nuggets will go up to 1 in the Western Conference. The Clippers, who are the 8th seed in the West, are up 48-44 with 6 minutes left in the half against the Thunder. And that is your NBA score update, everybody. And now, let's get back to the show here with some more questions asked by some of our friends who are complete and utter knuckleheads. And getting into that, this is Michael. Michael, I love you. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know if you're like an environmentalist or if this is a question from your professor. What the fuck? But this is your question. Ricky, listen to this freaking load of absolute clumpered bullshit. Given the socioeconomic status of California...
Oh my! I can already tell. I can already see Michael just going on right Google, typing in the news today, and then just copying and pasting it.
All right, I'm gonna try to read this out without laughing, and then I'll actually try to answer it for him, even though I probably have no knowledge on this shit. Given the socioeconomic status of California, especially northern regions of Sacramento, how does one go about... Oh, I can't even finish this. How does one go about integrating a profitable potato industry with rising costs due to overinflated chip companies substituting squash and oats for the potatoes? And how does said substituting of...
I'm going to mute myself, bro, so you can keep eating it. I'm sorry, I got it.
I probably want to be able to finish one for you. And how does said substituting affect the environment and its forfeiting without undertaking plant life as a whole? Ricky, I got a better question. What the fuck did I just read?
Oh my god, dude. I've been laughing this whole time.
I mean, dude, that's like a term paper question from your goddamn environment professor, dude. Like,
that's like if Michael was trying to turn California into Idaho right there.
Let's see if I can break this down. How does one go about integrating a profitable potato industry? Well, first off, I'll go ahead and start with that. I think any industry in general, it's hard to freaking integrate because of the goddamn taxes that are in this state are way too high. People have a hard time when it comes to private businesses in general. But if we're talking potato industry, with the rising costs due to overinflated chip companies substituting squash and oats for the potatoes. I don't know much about that, Michael. I'll just, like I said, I'll talk about the tax thing. There's way too much taxes in this state when it comes to private businesses. So, and that's also part, in fact, of the person we have who is governor right now. The person we have is a former governor. Even though I will say he freaking stopped the bullet train. Thank God for Governor Newsom for that. Thank you. How does said substituting affect the environment and its forfeiting without undertaking plant life as a whole? Here's my... I'll just answer yes. I don't know how to answer that. What the fuck? Here, I partially answered your question, alright? You should be happy that I partially answered.
Wait, so what was the whole first part of that again? I know there's like a lot of first parts.
Hey, Chris just responded ditto to that, too. That's funny.
What is it again?
Given the socioeconomic status of California, especially northern regions of Sacramento, how does one go about integrating a profitable potato industry and the rest of it, the clump of bullshit?
The rest of the potato industry of what?
with the rising costs due to overinflated chip companies substituting squash and oats for the potatoes. I think he means like potato chips. I don't. Yeah, maybe that's what he's talking about there. How does said substituting affect the environment and its forfeiting without undertaking plant life as a whole?
Okay, but and like, does he bring up? He doesn't bring up any years, does he?
No, he doesn't bring up any years. No, I don't.
All right, so with all this engineering I do every day, I'd say we're gonna have to take the limit as x approaches infinity. We're going to use p as our fixed value in this equation for this integral. Di is going to be our derivative or our change in inflation as the years go by. All right. I think I can solve Michael's problem.
Bro,
he needs to stop buying chips and move to Idaho. Jesus, that's it.
Dude, I just know how to write an AP style, dude. That's all I gotta say. I just know how to write an AP style. I'll answer this question AP style. If you actually give me the written form, I'll freaking edit it and format it for you. How about that? That's my answer for you on that. All right, Ricky, go ahead and ask one more, and then we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll come back, and I'll have one more as well. So you go ahead and ask one, is asked by one of your viewers, and then we'll get into a break.
All right, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually pulled out the flashcard and started writing the integral and fixed values and all this. Okay, I don't know why I even tried. Anywho, so I'm gonna keep this name anonymous so nobody gets shade thrown anywhere. But I have a question from an anonymous source on Instagram yet again, because that's where I ask the questions. It says, "Who would win in a fight, JC or Michael?" Why do people come up with these things? Like, is it just because they know our friends?
Man.
And they're like.
All right, Ricky, here comes the debate.
I feel like this whole podcast, ever since the whole Chatter Night Nation thing, has just turned into roasting each other. Like, everybody asking questions.
All right, let's go ahead and analyze this.
I can't use math to save this one.
Okay, so JC.
Somebody's going down on this one.
How tall do you think JC is? 5'5"?
Oh, JC's like 5'2", dude. 5'2"? He's short, dude. That guy's a midget, dude. That guy's like a dwarf.
Okay, how built you think? I think his abs aren't. How built you think he is?
How built do I think JC? I don't know. All I know is that ever since high school, he kind of let himself go, but not to the extent that I let myself go. Not to my extent. JC's like probably of all our friends, he's probably the most fit. Like strongest, I don't know. I'd probably give that to Chatter just because he's got a little bit more body mass, to work with.
Well, I'm not gonna shit on JC here too much because I actually like you, bro. But we went and played soccer, and by the way, it's very fun. Me and him and Michael. So I actually got to see both of them. See how much stamina they had. We went and played soccer at Cal Fit in Rockland on Wednesday. And all I gotta say is JC got a lot tired quicker than Michael did. That's all I gotta say. Is JC almost scored an own goal, and I'm not gonna say that I played good because I was absolute crap, but I haven't kicked a ball in 6 months. So, anyways, and then Michael actually did a nice sliding tackle and actually made some nice defense. Now I don't know how much running he actually did, but I actually know that he does go to the gym. I'm sure JC goes to the gym too, more than we both fucking go. But. If I'm gonna analyze this, I don't know. I feel like I've never seen them both aggressive. I feel like I don't know. I feel like JC would be quicker, but I feel like Michael would have more aggression. I feel like Michael would have a little bit more power at those punches.
I would say Michael's more of the aggressor type because I have seen Michael come back to school with bandages and a bruised cheek and all this stuff, and I'm like, what happened to you? He's like, oh yeah, I hit on somebody.
I'm gonna play the pussy card, and I'm gonna say draw. I'm gonna play the.
Oh, you're gonna say draw. Oh, you're gonna be that guy that's too good to call one person out.
What do you say, Ricky?
I'll be honest. It depends on the situation. If it's home turf, I gotta give it to JC. If it's any other situation, probably give it to Michael. By home turf, I mean. If Michael ever, throws JC's food on the floor, and we Mexicans eat a lot, and we get pretty feisty about our food. So we get the shoes off, we get the chanclas ready, the putazos, all that stuff. You know how it goes. We can get pretty feisty real quick. But if it's an actual boxing kind of thing, where it's all scheduled and it's an actual fight, I'll probably give it to Michael. But that's what I'm saying. It just depends on the situation. If you catch
Well,
JC on a bad day or do something bad, then yeah. But like if it's like you're prepping for it, I'd probably say Michael's a little bit more on the aggressive fighting type. But
there
why
you
am I still talking
go.
about this?
There you go, anonymous source who asked that, whoever you are, even though we both know who you are. There you go. That's your answer right there. All right. I actually got another question, Ricky, during our podcast. So I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to answer with you when we get back from a short 3-minute break. Here is No More Mr. Nice Guy from Alice Cooper. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Liberty Hour. We are back here streaming on the Spreaker app, and that was No More Mr. Nice Guy by Alice Cooper. And not only do I like Alice Cooper, but that's actually the intro song to a podcast I've been listening to a lot more recent. As I told you, I've gotten back into wrestling, WWE. The legendary Jim Cornette, who is a 80s ring manager, and ran a couple promotions back in the 90s and the 2000s. I really like his views when it comes to wrestling. When it comes to politics, I'm like 50-50 with him, but I like how he views wrestling. He's a much more old style kind of guy when it comes to it, and I like that, and I appreciate it. And I think that many of his ideas, if they were used in today's wrestling, would make it much better. And if you want to know more about my views on everything in the wrestling world, you can tune into KSSU on Thursdays from 11 to noon, and you can listen to the SmackDown Hotel, where I talk about wrestling and everything in the sports world. So, as I told you when we got back from break, we were going to get into a couple other questions, the final 2 questions that we have, and we will be doing that after this short break here. We will be getting into the next part 6, and possibly the final part of the Liberty Hour with my good friend Ricky Navarretti. We will be right back. Stay tuned, everybody.